Hey guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today is August the 7th, 2015, and we're rolling along here. We got some, well, not a lot of kit announcements from Japan. It is a little bit before the big hobby show that's going to be in September. And so we're a little light as far as Aoshima goes. So far, they've announced 2 kits for a reissue for September. Usually there's at least 10 or 12, but well, we'll see if they announce more as the weeks goes on here. But we've discussed before, they're going to be on summer vacation, basically, the last half of next week. So depending on what information comes out on Monday and Tuesday, and what kits may be released. Right now, I think it may be 2 Fujimi reissues. We will also be taking a vacation for the week just because there won't be anything to talk about. We will still, at some point, be doing our August release compilation video, which is ironic because 2 of the kits for August will be coming out. I'm putting my foot down on Monday as far as that goes. If Revell does not update their website, and I can't get a hold of one of the vendors I know here locally who has a distribution list to find out exactly what's coming out on the August Revell releases. And we're just going to do the August compilation video and, F Revell because, they've decided to go on vacation and not tell anybody what's going on for the rest of the month. There's a whole little tangent I like to go off on. It was brought on by a comment in the last video we made about the BMW Z3. In regards to Revell and their lackluster performance, I understand. It's probably really legitimately is, like I said, somebody who does their website is on vacation this week. However, why you would let them go on vacation when they should be, the one time they do anything is, this week, I don't know. Somebody needs a calendar, apparently. Because some of the things we have to talk about this week are some teaser shots from a few things, including the Chip Foose kits. Now, you may recall over the summer, or early part of the summer, May, they announced that Revell had signed a new agreement with Chip Foose to produce another 6 kits, 2 of which will be brand new, completely new tool kits, and the other ones are going to be sort of a split between current glue kits and some current pre-paint kits. To just, what we locally call Foosify, just putting big donk tires on them and stuff like that. I personally have not bought any of the Foosified kits that have come out already. That would be the 68 Trans Am, or Firebird, I guess, the 65 Impala, the 67 Coronet, and I think there's one more in there someplace I'm forgetting. I think it was 67 Charger, I think, got Foosified as well. I haven't bought any of those kits because I have all of the original factory stock kits, and there's not enough content to it. A new set of wheels, some valve covers, stuff like that's not enough to make me go out and buy something I already have. Now, if you don't have one already, knock your socks off. Just know that you're not going to get factory stock rims and tires with that. You'll get whatever they put in. So, we have something to talk about as far as that goes, but if the point of I'm bringing that up ahead of where I was going in my mind, if you notice I'm rambling a little bit, is the fact that if you go to Revell's website right now, and this is Friday night, their website still talks about voting for the kits. The 2 brand new tool kits were people's choice, except that voting ended almost 2 months ago. It's literally 10 days from 2 months, so it's 20 days ago. No, not 20 days ago, 50 days ago. Chip Foose announced what kits are going to be released on his own personal website, but Revell hasn't. Yay, Revell. I know. I don't really want to go off on a tangent about them. I really don't, but it's just sometimes they're very frustrating. As far as their communication with the outside world, they live in their little ivory palace out there in Elk Grove Village, and they don't think anyone needs to know what's going on. So at any rate, about these Chip Foose kits, the 2 new tools. If you haven't been to Chip Foose's actual website to find this stuff out, the 2 new tool kits are going to be a 56 Ford F100 pickup, the personal pickup truck, so to speak, of Chip Foose, and the Eldorado, which is the very customized 1948 Cadillac. That one actually holds a little bit of interest to me. If I was ever going to buy a Chip Foose kit, it might be the Cadillac. But the reason I'm bringing it up right now is because Chip Foose put this photo up on his Facebook page. I want to say it was 2 days ago. And what you see going on here is Chip Foose's pickup being 3D scanned. Now, I know a lot of people were all just wetting their pants with excitement that Revell is doing a 3D scan of a vehicle for a change. And I like to point out that this is Chip Foose's employee and Chip Foose's shop. So while Revell is getting 3D data of Chip Foose's pickup truck, Revell's not actually the one doing it. I'd like to know if this is a contract job where somebody Revell paid is 3D scanning it, or whether or not Chip Foose personally owns a 3D scanner. Wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibility. If you're doing all the custom work that he does, be able to 3D scan it and manipulate things in 3D, and have plans made that way. At any rate, if you look at it, it looks like the thing is dirty. It's got a sort of an anti-glare thing on it, because there's another picture of it where it's completely sparkling new. And all the little dots you see are data points. Basically, the 3D scanner is, receiving a reflection from the data point, which allows them to, correctly get the shape of the fenders and the hood and stuff like that. And why it's very important on this vehicle, especially, and a lot of people were like, well, if they do the 56 Ford, they're just going to reissue the old shitty 60s kit and throw some tires on it and call it done. The reason why the 3D scan is so important is for a lot of people who don't really, I'm not a big Chip Foose person myself. I mean, I watched, what was it, Overdrive, Underdrive, Pimp My Whatever, that he did, the pickup truck that it's done is the hood is pancaked, it's chopped, it's channeled, it's sectioned. It's a whole bunch of really very, very subtle. It's really nice in that sense. Very much of subtle work that's been done to that truck, which would obviously not work at all with the 1960s barely buildable. I know that'll annoy some people, but let's face it, folks, that truck, I realized that the Ed Roth version was cleaned up a little bit and was a little less yucky than it's been. But it's an old tool, and it needs to be put out to pasture. It was, junk 20 years ago. It's really junk now. And, it wouldn't have worked. They could not have made Foose's truck out of that pickup truck without either destroying the molds or, or just releasing something that was completely and totally beyond the realm of belief as far as half-acidness goes. So they're 3D scanning this. I presume they're going to 3D scan the Eldorado as well, assuming that they can get it to wherever the 3D scanner is, because that car is actually privately owned, and just went through a big renovation 3 years ago to be more like the design that Chip Foose actually had in mind for it, rather than what it came out to be out of Boyd's shop, because it was like the last car was delivered before Boyd went bankrupt. So that's cool. I mean, at least theoretically speaking, it's more correctable than, it's not. And, we'll see what that is when it comes out. So, some little teaser things here. Bell Kit's put up. These are test shots of the Ford Escort rally car. You guys may recall they announced at Shizuoka back in February, and a couple test shots of the body there, and here's the whole shebang laid out. This is the first test shot of the new tool, so it's gonna go through revisions and stuff like that. Don't get your hopes up that this is gonna be coming out in the next 2 months or anything like that, considering the fact that their the Polo World Rally Championship car is just finally on the water. But late 2015 is when the release date on this is, and from the looks of it, it doesn't look too bad. And I don't know, they haven't really said we're happy, we're not happy with it. But just looking at it, I obviously can look at a better picture of it than you guys can on YouTube. But it looks reasonably well done. I saw somebody on there complaining that they're doing curbside kits, and why can't they do full detail kits? The kit's already $50 without an engine. How much do you want to pay for this thing? It is what it is in that kind of sense. Everybody wants to be cheap, and then everybody wants to be expensive. You got to make up your minds what you're doing there. One other thing, real quick, before we go into the kit announcements. We did the announcements for the Studio 27 decal sets that are coming out in August. And the one that was up there is the Car Collector number 31, that we showed being a red car with very a weird graphics package. It's not the blue one with all the chevrons. That's the Premio one. But this is the Car Collector.de. And after asking for a little clarification about what car they were going to be doing, this man filter everybody should have a man filter, right? Is actually going to be what the decal set is. So this combination banana Jolly Green Giant ho 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 Mercedes-Benz SLS is what the actual decal package is going to be. Wanted to make that correction. I don't know how much you guys are actually into whether or not the decals ever show up in the first place, but I sort of made an error not knowing exactly what I was going to be getting, because there are 2 paint schemes to it, and apparently that one is specific to that race. And so I've corrected it. One other thing, the Japanese Touring Car Championship, BMW 318, the racing version of that kit that's being reissued. Remember, we were all excited about that a couple 3 weeks ago. Has official release date of October 1st out of Hasegawa. So technically speaking, the kit's been sort of slid out of the back end of September into beginning October. They tend to beat their release dates, so that may go back into September as well. I can't remember if I mentioned that last week. I can't remember if we had that information last week. It's been really crazy the last couple days. So, kit announcements as far as what we know. Aoshima, they're going to be reissuing the JZX 100 Toyota Chaser Aero package. This is the mid to late 90s Toyota Chaser. It's not buildable quite as factory stock. You have to build it in this Aero package with a different set of wheels. And then they're also going to be reissuing the Initial D A86 Truno in the Volume 37 version. That is, of course, as we've talked about numerous times before, the grand enchilada of the Initial D kits. This one has the roll cage, the racing seats, all of the engine upgrades, all of the exhaust upgrades, and everything in one box. If you're going to go buy a Initial D kit, because there's 3 of them, or if you're going to buy a Truno at all, and you want one with the engine insert, this is the one to get because it gives you the most options available. Fujimi has announced a few reissues and one sort of semi-new kit. They're going to be reissuing the Mazda RX-7. This is an FD3S, so mid-1990s RX-7 Type RS. Straight reissue, but they're going to put window masks in that. They're reissuing the Porsche 928 S4. I think that more or less is the kit that came out at the very beginning of the year in the new Circuit Wolf series. They're just repackaging it into the Real Sports series. They're saying they're going to be reissuing the Ferrari 288 GTO. Now, the people who know their Ferrari kits know that the Fujimi Ferrari 288 GTO is an enthusiast series kit. I have searched and searched and searched, and I cannot find a version of this kit that is underneath the Real Sports thing. When the Real Sports thing usually is a curbside kit. They usually dumb down the Enthusiast Series kits and put them into this Real Sports Series, which is how this is coming out this time, at a price of like $18. It might still be the Enthusiast Series kit because I can't find proof that they made a curbside version of the 288 GTO. So that gives you guys the opportunity, and that kit was out of production for a couple of years now and it got kind of expensive. Trying to find it on eBay, and the cheapest way to get it was buy one of the mid-'80s testers boxed versions of it. But that kit will be reissued in September, and for a really, really good price if it's the Enthusiast Series kit. We'll let you guys know as we know. And then one other reissue. This is one's been gone since 2007 was the last time it saw the light of day, and that is the Suzuki Alto. It's a teeny-weeny little K-car Suzuki. It's, I don't know, like this big or so. This is going to be like a 3-in-1 kind of, sort of. The Suzuki Alto came as a twin cam, or it came with a little turbo, I don't know, two-banger or some little tiny engine. And then there was a version called the Alto Works, which had a different set of wheels and a more sporty body. Keep in mind, we're talking about something the size of a large overgrown golf cart. So you can build all 3 versions in one box. Previously, the twin cam and the turbo were in one kit, and the Alto Works was in another kit. Like I said, both of those kits are all 3 versions of them. How we're going to look at it. None of them have been available since 2007, so it's been 8 years since that kit's been out. And then lastly, this is the kind of new thing. They're going to be doing another one of the Good Smile Racing Hatsune Miko cars. For 2015, Good Smile Racing has switched over to the Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG GT3 from the BMW Z4 GT3. So while the kit is just a reissue of the same Mercedes-Benz kit that has been out for 4 or 5 years, they're moving the livery package over. I took the opportunity to go find the real car so you guys could see it, because I know that 98% of you guys never heard of Good Smile Racing. You don't know the whole background behind this, and the whole, when I say garish cartoon graphics, you guys are sort of a little puzzled. So, check this out. That is the actual real race car. Fujimi actually sponsors this team, so that's why we've now had like 18 of these Good Smile Racing cars. There's literally, I believe, 12 of BMWs, and now there's going to be this Mercedes-Benz. And then lastly, and the reissue side of things, and this one is the really, 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 really cool one, Tamiya has announced for September that they're going to be reissuing both the Jägermeister and the Alfa Corsa. A lot of people call it the Decra car because they don't realize that it's not sponsored by Decra. That Decra was the thing that sponsored the car numbers on the side of all German DTM cars in the 1980s, or 1990s technically. The Alfa Corsa, which is the red car with the Alfa Romeo logos all over it, was Alfa Romeo's factory team. So it's Alfa Corsa is what the sponsor was on that. This is the 1993 kit. The Jägermeister is the 1994 kit of the Alfa Romeo 155 V6 Ti. This is hang on. It's that kit, except the 1993-1994 kit was a completely separate kit than the Bosch one. The Bosch one was the 1996 kit. The 1993-94s have a different nose piece, different front end entirely, a completely different engine intakes assembly, a completely different racing interior, and a whole bunch of different stuff. Why I bring this up as being very, very exciting is the Studio 27 carbon fiber decal set that they did for the Alfa Romeo 155 V6 Ti only fits the 1993-1994 kits, not the 95-96 kits, because of all the differences I just rattled off. The decals don't fit anymore because they're not designed to fit that later car. So I went out and I bought this thing, thinking I could use because I have the replacement decal set for this. Thinking, hoo-hoo, yay, I get to build my, carbon fiber, decal Alfa Romeo. No, I couldn't. And the prices of these old ones, for some reason, is through the roof. The Jägermeister was reissued maybe 5-6 years ago, so it's really no reason for it to be as expensive as it is. However, for whatever reason, it's really expensive. The Alfa Corsa one is like $100. These kits are going to be reissued in the neighborhood of about $21 directly from Japan. Shunko Decals does the replacement set for the Jägermeister if you don't want to deal with the kit decals, and then Studio 27 does a replacement set for the Alfa Corsa team, as well as the other two Alfa Corsa teams and like 2 or 3 other 1994, 1993 Alfa Romeos. If you bought every decal set that's available and used the Alfa Corsa set that comes with the kit, you need like 7 of them. That's how many decals there are out there for that kit. So if you were interested in it, and the Studio 27 carbon fiber decal set is still actually in stock at HobbyLink Japan, so it's still out there in production. And there's, like I said, all these decal sets floating around for it. If you ever wanted to build one of these kits, and they are very, very good Tamiya kits, this is your opportunity to jump on and participate in the destruction of kit value. You guys, by now, ought to know. I love it when they reissue this old stuff that everybody is all hoarding, thinking that it's going to pay for their retirement, and then shebang. Nope. Now they're $20. Now what are you going to do? Because your kit, the original one from 1990, has shitty decals on top of it. This one will have brand new decals. And that, guys, pretty much is that. So, like I said, we'll be back Monday for sure with the August compilation video, Revell be damned. And then we may or may not be here Friday. So we'll let you probably know. We ought to know Monday or Tuesday. Whenever I get around to the video, because it looks like I'm going to be working 12-hour days here through next week. So it may be Monday, it may be Tuesday. It depends on when I record it and when it goes up, that whole nonsense. But that's where we're at. Hope you guys had a good week, or hope you guys have a good weekend. I have to work, and we'll see you guys on the other side.